We're now going to take you to Volker Turk, who's the UN human rights chief, who's speaking about the attacks on the Gulf region. Let's listen to what he has to say.
The crisis could also reduce the flow of remittances from migrant workers that keep families and communities afloat. There are ongoing attempts to mitigate the closure of the strait by releasing oil reserves and easing sanctions, but they have not made a significant difference, and the wider consequences remain unpredictable. Analysis by UNCTAD shows that insurance premiums and marine fuel costs are surging, increasing prices across the board and around the world. The UN's Economic and Social Commission for West Asia assesses that the conflict has already caused some $63 billion in economic losses across the Arab region. Mr. President, conflict can never be ordinary or standard, but this conflict has an unprecedented power to ensnare countries across borders and around the world. Complex dynamics could ignite further national, regional, or global crises at any moment, with an appalling impact on civilians and people everywhere. The only guaranteed way to prevent this is to end the conflict, and I urge all states, and particularly those with influence, to do everything in their power to achieve this. Our deeply interconnected world requires that all countries recommit to full respect for international law and the UN Charter. We cannot go back to war as a tool of international relations. When some powerful states are trying to weaken the multilateral system, we need the rest, the vast majority, to stand up for it. While the conflict continues, I call on all parties to ensure full respect for international humanitarian and human rights law. Attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure must end. If they are deliberate, such attacks may constitute war crimes. I stand in solidarity with all civilians across the region who are crying out for peace. Thank you.
All right, that was Volker Turk, the UN's human rights chief, speaking at an emergency session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva there, which was called by the United Arab Emirates. The UN human rights chief calling on all parties in this war, the war on Iran, to end attacks on civilian infrastructure. He says that this war has cost $63 billion in economic losses to the region, the Gulf region and the wider Middle East region.